Hey everyone, in today's video we've got a Fender 68 custom guitar amplifier. I am told that this thing has no sound when you try to play through it, so we're going to take a look at this thing. I've never worked on a guitar amplifier before, and we'll see if I can figure it out. Let's take a closer look. Oh, this is dangerous, folks. We got double kitties, and they don't really get along that well sometimes, so we'll see what happens. Lots of bird activity this morning, definitely. Alright, anyways, this amplifier was manufactured in 2021 to the best of my knowledge, and there's a sticker that says that back there. Looks like you can plug in 2 instruments. You've got volume, treble, bass, reverb, speed, and intensity. Wow. Obviously in pretty great shape. It's not very old. This is a vacuum tube power amplifier, and we can see that by looking back here. We can see we've got one, I guess that's a power tube, and then 2 preamp tubes. There's a little sticker in here that talks about that. It's 6V6 and 212AX7s. And then down there's your June 2021 date. Kind of funny that they mount these amplifiers upside down for what I'm used to seeing. Normally I see these with the tubes going the other way. But I guess that's just how you do a guitar amp. Makes sense. Then you can have all your buttons there. You don't have to run a bunch of wires. There's the speaker. It says made in USA, which is kind of cool. Designed and assembled. So out of foreign components, obviously. They wouldn't say that. Here's your serial number. And 75 years. I think that's really all there is to it. What do you two say we get this inside and take a look? Are you focused, big guy? Do you want a head scratch? Oh no, he's very focused. Now, I don't own an electric guitar, but I do have this acoustic pickup that works with an acoustic guitar. And we can just plug this right into the amp here. And even if we do so much as just tap this thing, we'll be able to hear noise coming through and know whether the amp is working or not. But apparently it's not working, so let's get this thing plugged in. And we'll give it a flip of the switch. We've got a power light on the front of the amp, but no sound yet. Our volume is set to 1. Let's see if anything changes. Nothing is happening. Let's check the back, see if our tubes have the heater filaments going. We're still turned on, but let's go ahead and take this bracket off. And if we turn the big lights off and we zoom in on this tube, we notice something. We notice that the heater filaments are showing nothing. There is no orange light out of this tube. I would expect this tube to be quite warm, and it is not warm at all. So that's problem number 1. Power tube is getting nothing. Try jiggling it, sometimes that works. I still see nothing. Let's pull the shields off of our 12AX7 preamp tubes and see what's underneath here. They're not really wanting to come off, so I'm gonna just power it down while I do this. Oh, that's why they're not coming off. It's because I didn't see that you do it that way. Okay, let's power back on. Let's see if we have heater filaments on our 12AX7s. And we do. I'm not sure you can see that, but I can see that. The 12AX7s are warm, which is a good thing, but this thing is barely warm at all, which is a bad thing. Nothing's gonna happen unless this tube is actually working. So let's pull this tube, let's see if I've got an extra. Maybe we can run it on the tube tester and see what happens. Right off the bat, we've got some white shavings on here. Looks like it came from the socket. Somebody may have been here before. And here is my exceptionally well organized vacuum tube collection for anybody who was curious. So we'll just kind of dig through here until we see a 6V6 show up. Well, folks, it would appear I do not have any random 6V6s laying around in my tube collection. So what that means is we must actually try to test the tube that we do have and see what happens. Now, this is a very old tube tester, a triplet, model 3413B. It was given to me by a local guy here, and I have never used it before. So it would appear to me that this tube wants to go here, and we've got this little scroll thing here. This is a 6V6 tube. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this. We're going to do the A, the circuit set to 3. For the B, we'll set the filament to 6.3. We're already set. For the C, we'll set it to 29. Right there. And then for the up, we're going to do 3, 4, and 5. And for the down, we're going to do 1, 7, and 8. I'm not sure which test we want to do here, but I think we just bring up the line here and we see what happens. And I do see that element heating up. I see that inside of the tube. So I've brought you into better view. We see our heater element is actually working here. So that's really a big thing that I wanted to test, is make sure that this actually does work. And if I bring down the line, turn it off, we see that heater element go away. This tube is being heated up on this tester, and it's not getting that from its home, the amplifier. So that tells me something's wrong with our amplifier. We gotta tear this apart and see what's going on. Because like I said, I've never used this before. If I go like this, it says good, and I hear a little bit of sizzling inside of here, so I'm sure there's something in here that could be fixed up, but it would appear this is a good tube. So let's continue to tearing apart the amplifier. And clearly I have no choice but to tear apart the amplifier because somebody has taken my seat. Right, Sadie? Do you like taking my seat and being on video? You're very sweet. Well, I've got to say there's quite a bit going on here. I was not expecting to see this many circuit boards, but that should be no surprise since this was manufactured in the 2020s. Looks like it should be easy enough to work on, maybe? I don't know. We have to figure out where we have to do the work, but I tried finding a schematic for this thing and didn't have any luck initially, but I'm sure if I look a little bit harder, maybe there's something. But at the end of the day, we know that we're supposed to be getting heater grid out of this tube, and we're not, so maybe we can start there. I guess for what it's worth, I do have it propped up with some stuff for this transformer. It's pretty simple up here, just 2 transformers and 3 tubes. That's it. Very simple, but obviously plenty of stuff going on in here. We've got a lot of electrolytic capacitors, plenty of semiconductors actually, so this is not a full tube amplifier. I knew it wouldn't be. So I think one of the first things I can do is I can check the voltages at each one of these vacuum tube pins and see what exactly is going on around here. So it would appear that the heater grid is this black wire and this white wire, pins 2 and 7 on a 6v6 tube. I'll plug this tube back in and then we'll power this thing on and see what happens. Okay, so the tube is in, we're powered on. We hear the hum from the transformer. And oddly enough, now we have a heater grid from the tube. So that's interesting. I'd be inclined to hook the speaker back up and actually test this out. Okay, like I said, we got that heater grid. We're hooked back up to the speaker. Probably turn the volume down. And there we go. We actually have sound now. Looks like our reverb. Oh yeah, look, I can adjust the speed. That's kind of cool. So we have a power amp now, that's nice. And a preamp, because we get bass and treble differences. And hear that? I think we fixed it. Let's get a guitar and try this out. So this is my grandfather's 65 Gibson. Let's just play a note. There it is. folks. I'd call that a working guitar amplifier. I don't think there's much else I can do here. It would appear that somehow, for some reason, the 6v6 power tube, the heater grid connection on one of those tubes, either 2 or 7, just wasn't working. So now that we've taken the tube out, jiggled it around and put it back in, everything seems to be working now, which is just excellent. Let's see, can I still play the AH Fix-It intro? That's it. It's very simple. I played that while standing on one foot, just FYI. You know, I guess a small little touch we can add while we're in here is, you know, these pins aren't exactly dirty, but it may behoove us to just give them a little bit of deoxit on each one, and then maybe, just maybe, that'll prevent this from ever happening again, right? Okay, let's see if it still works. It's not working. We ain't got no heater grid. Why? Why is that? I don't like that, folks. I don't like that at all. It would appear we've got a bad tube socket or something. Do I have to take this apart all over again? Oh, I think I know. Yeah, that's weird. For whatever reason, you can put this tube in wrong. There is a locating pin on these tubes where you can, you know, you look at the locating pin, it should only go in one way, but I was able to get that to go in multiple ways. And now that I have it in correctly, it's working, which makes sense. So anyways, I was about to play some tunes for you as an outro, and now we can do that. So yeah, just be careful when you're putting these in. I guess that socket is not very strict with the locator pin there. Maybe that's what was wrong the whole time. Maybe there was never a connection issue. Maybe somebody just pulled that tube and that's what happened. I mean, we saw these white chunks of ceramic from the thing come out, so maybe that's what actually happened. Maybe it used to be okay, but when you're putting these tubes in, you can't see, and it'd be very easy to put it in incorrectly. Well, glad I figured that out. That was easy. Yeah, just a quick lesson for those unfamiliar. Here's a tube similar to what we put in the power tube, the 6v6. We've got this little locator pin right here. And that pin is what allows you to put it in correctly, but the socket might be damaged, so we can't do that. And then for our preamp tubes on the other side, the 12AX7, they use this 9-pin style. And with this style, you'll notice there's one missing pin, so that's how you know you get your 12AX7 in correctly. I think that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed me figuring out that a tube was installed backwards. I'll see you in the next one.